Well, you know what? I imagine that they probably live on the moon. Don't you think?
Taylor Swift?
No.
These plasmoids.
I don't think they live there, but they might visit.
You might visit.
So, the moon. It's made of cheese.
Das.
All right, that's my part.
It's made of cheese and it's hollow.
No, so longtime listeners will know Vandy covered the moon before.
Physically.
Talked about it possibly being hollow.
Okay.
It is hollow.
I'm not
Partially, at
convinced it's
least.
not.
Partially, at least.
But I was not even trying to, but I just was listening to. I like listening to sciencey stuff and conspiracy stuff, and I was listening to some stuff
right?
about
Shocker.
yeah, like sometimes mixed, sometimes not mixed.
Okay. I was
But-
making a joke there because we're on a.
Oh, I know, but I'm
Okay.
clarifying for the audience. So I genuinely do like listening to just like science.
Yeah.
I like science.
Do you like listening to plasmoids?
Bill Nye.
If they are sky trumpets, no.
No.
If they're not, then maybe
Sky trumpets are plasmoids mating call.
it's possible.
Whoa.
Well, no,
Ew.
because then they would always see them split and dance, and then we don't see that with sky trumpets. So,
So moon.
so the moon. So I'm just gonna go over some really strange things about the moon that makes me legitimately think the moon is
Fake.
not fake in the sense of it doesn't exist. Like I'm not going to talk about weird conspiracies because this ties into it's a spaceship, it's a this aliens built it. Like I'm not going to talk about speculation or conspiracy theories.
Because you know it's a fact that it's a spaceship.
No. I'm going
It's
to
a
talk about
ship.
I'm going to talk about actual like here's facts that we know,
It's a ship
Or-
that lives in space.
things we don't know about the moon. But these things all combined make me think that it is in some way artificial, not a natural occurring thing.
Okay.
So we'll just kind of start from the beginning, which is how was it made? I don't know. You guys are non-believers or anti-science, and y'all don't
Cheese.
believe the world is over 6,000 years old.
What?
But one theory on how the moon was made, or
On the
how
way.
we obtained the moon, is called the capture theory. And it's basically just the moon is from somewhere else. It's
Yeah.
3A Atlas or whatever out interstellar. And it just happened to get in orbit with the Earth.
Alien ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's like just a chunk of rock that happened to fly in the exact
A
spot.
Chunk of rock that's so perfectly
That's why this theory makes no sense.
circular.
And also just
Debunked.
orbits so perfectly.
That's basically saying that it's a pygmy planet that that happened to get caught in our orbit.
Yes, and just stuck with us.
Yeah.
That's one theory. No one really believes it. Like scientists don't believe it because it doesn't. The odds of that are incredibly low.
Yeah.
Because we've observed this happening before, and usually it's temporary anyway, and it doesn't make like the perfect circle orbit that the moon has.
And something that large going at any sort of speed wouldn't get caught in our orbit.
And just so that's one thing. Then there's another theory that the Earth and the moon formed together from the same cloud that all culminated together and
Yeah.
I've heard that
done
one.
the Earth and that. But it doesn't make sense because if this were the case, the material of the moon would be very similar to the material of the Earth because it's the same stuff,
Correct.
but they're quite different. Then there's the Earth was spinning so fast a chunk flew off, or something hit it and a chunk flew off, but it also
Formed back together.
doesn't make sense for the same reason as the other one. Plus, moon rocks are older than Earth. Some moon rocks are older than the Earth, so that kind of also is like the moon.
Well, what about the asteroids or meteorites
If it
that
hit
hit the
it-
moon?
it-
Yeah. I mean,
Mm.
at that point, it would technically be called a moon rock, right?
I don't know if they're classifying them that way.
Okay.
I just know that they say like this is something scientists are pondering. These are all not just like, someone's like, I've these facts I'm pinpointing.
I
These
just
are like,
assume that you know it all, Jeremy,
I do, but I like to leave people in suspense.
because you've been up since last year, and so you should have the knowledge and the wisdom to tell me.
All I'm saying is I think these are things scientists are questioning. So I would assume they're different. They would think, if they're not smart enough to think, well, gee, this might be stuff that landed on the moon and not from the moon originally.
And that's exactly how they sound.
If they can't,
Yep.
well, if they can't figure it out, yes, that's exactly how they sound. Then you should be a scientist instead of them.
Shut
Yep.
up.
What?
Shut up.
Shut up, old son.
I'll whip you, boy.
I'll whip you, boy. I'll whip you good.
Y'all are making this take longer than it needs to. I should already be
Sorry.
done.
Go ahead.
Then there's another theory that like the Earth made like a donut shape and it spun off of that. It's all stupid.
Wait, so the Earth was a donut,
Yes.
and then it collapsed, and then became
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, all of these are bad theories. None of them line up. They
How
might.
wild would it be for the planet to actually be a donut?
Well, it's because the Earth got hit and then
Yeah.
was like spinning,
yeah.
and so it was like donut
Centrifugal
shape.
force, and
So it
then
was
brought
donut
back
shape, and
through
then like
gravity.
from that.
Do we
the
have
moon-
any theories from the Flat Earth group?
Well, the flat Earth group is the moon doesn't exist
Oh,
or
okay.
something. I don't
Dude,
know.
how wild? Honestly, how wild would it be if Earth was a donut shape? That would be insane.
This whole time
I'm just stuck on
we're
that.
living on a donut.
I'm just stuck
and
right there on that.
We're the Earth is donut and the moon is our donut hole.
Wow.
We figured it out.
We have a mini sun inside the center of the donut hole, and the moon is on the outside.
Okay, so basically we can't figure out the thing to get away from all this is we don't understand how the moon exists. How did it get there? Nothing makes any sense from what normally would happen from stuff that we can understand how moons for Jupiter got there, for instance.
Yeah.
So like nothing makes sense. Either kind of works or doesn't work at all, which is weird. Then you have, to me, this is one of the weirdest things that just really makes you think it's probably hollow. That's the way that makes this make the most sense. Is, you know how on Earth the soil is younger, and as you dig down, you're finding older and older rock because
Yeah.
it's like over time it builds up.
Yeah.
The moon is the opposite. The oldest is the top layer, and as you go down, it gets younger, which makes no sense.
Hollow.
But it can make sense if it's because it was dug out. So the stuff on the top was down and it got dug out.
Or it had a lot of volcanic activity, and it pushed it out.
There's no such thing.
What's all the dark spots on the moon? It used to be
Shadows.
volcanically active.
That's false. It's fake news.
No,
Yes.
no,
There's no proof there was ever volcanoes on the moon or lava.
I don't know about that. That's what I've been told my whole life, Jeremy. And I'm not going to differ.
Okay.
I'm not going to differ from what I've been
No,
told since I was a child.
I had this conversation with Tyler and he brought up the same thing. And it's not,
I was being sarcastic, by the way.
well, what about the volcanoes?
No, about me not changing.
Okay. I'm just saying the volcano argument is something Tyler brought up.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's impossible, but I mean, for it to be,
So what are the dark spots then?
it could be where lava was. I don't know.
Oh,
But I'm saying for the entire surface of the moon to be oldest at top, I feel like if it was volcanic, it wouldn't be like that. It would be,
well, it could have been like how Venus is right now, where it's just constantly in a turmoil state
maybe.
and
But
constant
even then,
volcanic activity.
like so me saying like the Earth is hollow or whatever was kind of a joke.
Yeah.
I wasn't really serious. Like there's probably explanations for it, but it's weird because it's not even if we can explain it, which they don't really have an explanation, it's still abnormal,
Yeah, it is.
which is what's weird. There's just like there's so many things about it that's weird. And then you have the craters that all have pretty much the same depth.
The same depth, yes.
So it's like they're hitting something really.
Which doesn't make sense because the bigger one should be going deeper.
That's what I told Tyler, and he's like,
Yeah.
no, it could make sense if he tried to argue with me about density and how.
Or even if a smaller one that was going faster could easily go deeper. Like that's how you beat body armor is you go either
But-
Moon
but
doesn't
it's-
have it.
you go small and super fast to defeat body armor.
Or big and slow.
To just bend.
So,
Tank round.
Yeah.
so that's weird. It's as if like you get so far, and then it's like
it just completely stops.
a more reinforced or stronger material.
The metal frame.
Titanium.
And then you have the weird materials. Like the moon has no magnetic field. It's no hemisphere. There's no anything going on there.
Correct.
No core. So there's no magnetic field. Yet moon rocks are almost always very magnetic or magnetized.
Very odd.
So it's like, why are the rocks magnetized, but there's no magnetic field?
Well, I can explain all this in one simple sentence.
You say
Jeremy.
plasmoids.
Plasmoid. Say it one more time. I dare you.
We never actually went to the moon,
Oh.
so we don't really know.
Then a lot of materials like titanium and chromium that are pretty rare on Earth are in an abundance on the moon. And there are certain isotopes that on Earth don't occur naturally that we've ever found. And yet there's a lot of that on the moon.
Like helium-3.
No, like uranium-236 and neptunium-237.
Oh, that has to be spent, right? Nuclear fuel spent.
Yeah, yes. It's so,
Spent nuclear.
but
fuel.
so that it doesn't occur here, but on the moon, there's, I don't know if there's a lot, but there's
yeah,
that stuff's there.
more of it than on Earth. And
And we're, as far as I know, we're not on the moon making it.
yeah, and helium-3 also, which apparently, according to some people, China is mining it off the moon right now.
And then you have like the boulders that move, which I've seen pictures and I've never thought about it until I saw this. Like, that is what that is. Like, so like there's giant boulders
Yeah.
and there's
I know
like
what you're
the
talking about.
streaks from where like they're rolling. Why are they rolling? And they're even rolling uphill.
Yeah. It's weird.
Because they're magnetic.
Maybe.
Because, but
It's
at the
weird.
same time, you said the moon doesn't have a
No,
magnetic field.
the moon doesn't have a magnetic field.
They're full of titanium and magnets on the inside.
It's just like, what is happening? These boulders are just like, I'm gonna go rolling around today.
That is pretty weird.
Well, it's the same thing as on the salt flats. There's boulders
Yeah, but
that
that's the water evaporating, coming back, and
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah, but it's kind of the same concept. People didn't know for generations.
Could
what
you
was
imagine
happening.
if you're like back in the ancient days and the rocks are moving? No, they're not. Yeah, they are. Look.
Yeah.
This is how we are with the moon right now.
I guess. Then, of course, we talked about with Vandy the vibrations. They hit the moon and it vibrated, and so that's
Right.
why people think it's hollow. And so there's that, and then there's the size is 25% the size of Earth, but the density does not match the size. It's way less dense than it should be to be 25% of the size of
it's
Earth,
hollow.
which goes toward it possibly being hollow.
A spaceship.
The core is cold. There's no heat coming from it, which there wouldn't be heat coming from it if it's not there. So that makes sense if it's hollow.
Yeah.
So this is something that like technically we knew, but I never thought about it, and that is that because we have eclipses, it's because the moon is positioned in such a way where the size is the same
It's perfect.
as the near perfect to
Yeah.
being the size of the sun. And the reason why that works out is because in order for that to work out is the sun is 400 times larger than the moon, and the sun is 400 times further from Earth than the moon.
Insane.
That's how it has to be. It's the fact that like
Dude, the moon's not real.
the spacing and
It's
the
a hologram.
size
Maybe.
match perfectly to make it
An eclipse.
eclipse. Although that is slowly changing because the moon is ever so slightly drifting a little
It's
further
running
away.
out of fuel.
So eclipses are starting to be not quite as perfect as they used to be back in the day. And then you have like the in 1971.
Doesn't it move like 3 inches every year or something like that?
I don't know.
That's
I don't
something
remember.
minute.
I'd never heard of this, but in 1971 they observed a cloud of water vapor that covered about 100 square miles that was just there for 14 hours.
Really?
Makes sense because there is ice on the moon in certain craters and stuff.
But it's like,
So
could you
if-
imagine just be like observing the moon and then you're like, what is that vapor? Like, what is
Yeah. Well, it's because I believe the number is when the moon is in the sun, it's 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And when it's in the shade, it's negative 400. So if the sun hit a
Yeah,
chunk of ice, I mean,
it'd melt it.
Yep.
It'd go.
yeah, it'd be like real fast.
That's where the sounds are coming from.
I don't know about that.
And then there's.
I don't know about that, kid.
Have y'all heard about the random lights people see
Yeah.
flash from the
yeah.
moon?
Yep.
So there's those.
Plasmoids.
There's a crater called the Plato crater that randomly just glows.
Just random.
Yeah, just it'll start glowing. People will observe it, and it's confirmed like it's just glowing a dim blue.
So do you think it's light reflecting off of ice, like I said before?
It's possible.
But if that was possible, then it'd be 200 degrees Fahrenheit on that side, and then that ice wouldn't be.
And it's literally the same crater, and not anywhere
Yeah.
else. It's always the same crater.
Huh. So why haven't they used the telescope to zoom in on there to see?
Well, they have. Like you could see pictures of it.
And they still can't figure out why?
If they have, they haven't said what it is.
I hate the government.
And then the last thing is basically
NASA.
the last thing I'll say is the Apollo 11 crew who landed on the moon, if you believe it.
Allegedly.
Yeah, they allegedly landed on the moon. They have their press conference, and the guys don't seem like guys who just got back from like a
Yeah,
life
I've
changing.
watched that.
They're like
They're all depressed.
they're all
and angry
distant and depressed and like kind of like, yeah, we're entering a new era for man.
Yeah.
And it's like, so that's not the attitude and emotion of guys who just did this big event. It's like either something weird is going on or it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I went to the Grand Canyon. After I left, I was in a fantastic mood because I witnessed the Grand Canyon. Imagine what I would be like if I was walking on the moon.
Be like, yeah.
Yeah, we're entering a new
So,
age for
another-
man.
I don't really care if we landed on the moon or not,
I do.
honestly, personally. But another thing that I heard about against an argument against us landing on the moon was that rover that they drove on. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
apparently it was battery powered, but we didn't have the technology to produce a battery that could withstand the temperature change. Because it, like I said,
A lot of tomfoolery going on
200 to negative 400. And while you're in the middle of space, it's in the negatives,
there. Yeah.
hundreds of negatives, whatever it is. And then you land on the surface of the moon. I don't know. We didn't have the technology to produce a battery that was capable of withstanding that heat
Yeah.
for that prolonged period of time to be able to drive it around. So,
A lot of tomfoolery.
unless they did and they just didn't release it because you know how the government's always 10 to 20 years ahead of technology compared to
And
what's
I don't know.
yeah. So I don't know. It's something to think about.
The moon is this is bizarre. There's a lot of bizarre things before you go into like there's some other stuff I didn't bring up because it's like speculation or like I don't know if it's true. Like and is this stuff is like this is scientists talking or like this is recorded fact. So there's weight to it, but there's like supposedly some guy for like a year recorded the moon every night and like 3 or 4 different times. There's like a black line that crossed the entire thing over a few minutes.
Huh.
Like splitting it in half and
It's a hologram. No, it just really shows on display that there was a creator.
yeah, so tie it back to what I said at the start. When I said the moon's artificial, I don't necessarily mean I don't mean aliens came and made it or aliens. Actually, there's a whole other stuff I could say about it too with creation myth stuff, but I won't for sake of time and because I had forgotten, so I've missed my moment. But when I say artificial, I mean like it didn't occur quote unquote naturally, which could mean just God just said, okay, this needs to be here, so it's gonna be there.
Yeah. He had a plan in mind of how the oceans needed to be and how the earth needed to be and how that needs to interact with the sun and the moon and the stars and the earth and everything lining up perfectly. The odds of like what you said of the moon being placed exactly where it is
Yep.
for there to be an eclipse.
For the moon to be the exact distance it is, the exact size it is, the exact density it is, for not just for the eclipse, but also to
stay in our orbit,
to stay perfectly orbit, and to impact our tides and stuff, and our seasons, because apparently the moon also helps determine seasons, which could be why the seasons are getting out of whack. Maybe they get out of whack because the moon's getting further away.
Could be.
But it like everything that it does, if it was off by a small portion in any of the areas, size, distance, density, none of it would work.
For an example, to show you how rare it is, there's not one moon in our solar system that lines up the way our moon does with another planet.
Yep.
There's not one moon that does the same thing with Jupiter, Neptune, Pluto, so on and so forth. If you want to call Pluto a planet now.
Again.
Venus. I mean, there's not one moon that acts the way it does, except for ours. Then if you want to go any further, there's not one moon for a distant planet outside of our solar system
that we can see that does it either. There's like
Yes.
nowhere we've never observed it anywhere else.
It is unique only to our planet, which is insane.
Yep. It's like that. You can't say that it's just
A
happened.
coincidence.
Like maybe 1 or 2 of them, but as many as there are now, as like not just because there's so many coincidences, but it's like they're coincidences that also without these there could not be life. There could not be.
I have a question for you guys.
It's like no, it's on purpose.
Yep.
I have a question for you guys about all this. When God was creating everything, do you think he started with like the sun first or earth first?
How does the Bible say it?
Created light first. Then he started working
In
on
the
the
beginning,
earth.
God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void.
Exactly. So there was
And
nothing.
his spirit hovered over the deep.
So the earth was created first.
And then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light.
Oh no.
Well, since you brought this up, I will go into what I'm going to say real fast.
Do it.
So another thing that's interesting, but it does contradict the Bible.
Oof.
So I'm not saying I believe this, but it's interesting because of how much they also got right. But and it ties to the Anunnaki in some ways, but
Anunnaki.
there's ancient myths, creation myths, that there was a time before the moon where people were on Earth. Which is why I said it goes against the Bible, because the Bible talks about the moon before the Earth. But outside of that detail, everything else lines up well with both science and the Bible, because they're like, before the moon existed, there was no rain, there was no consistent seasons, and instead of having weather, it was like there was a mist that was on the entire planet, and that's how everything got watered.
Yes, which does line up
With the Bible, yes.
biblically.
And then they said the moon was created and placed into the sky, and when that happened, the mist dissipated and went up into the sky, and that became the first ever rain, which was a global flood. And then after this is whenever seasons and everything fell into place. And again, I'm not just saying, oh, it fits biblically, because it doesn't fit biblically. It like mirrors things, but it's not perfect. But they would not have known scientifically what the moon actually does. And for them to basically be like, before the moon, none of this stuff was happening. After the moon, it was. And it's like, that's actually true. Or like, not true like in the sense of it did happen, but true in the sense of like the moon does affect these things.
Right.
So it would make sense, is crazy too. That these ancient people somehow attributed the moon to tides, weather,
I think they would
seasons and
they would
stuff.
probably
and
watch.
not just in a way of like, oh, it's whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, like you said, they didn't have any distractions like we do now.
Yeah.
Like we haven't had
Life was a lot slower.
a lot slower. Like, I mean, what did they have to do? They had to
Their
Plant-
job.
they had to plant crops,
Yeah.
they had to feed their family, and they had to feed their livestock. That was their life. Of course, they had recreational things. You know, they're
Yeah.
humans, but they didn't have any distractions. They didn't have any deadlines as far as, you know, having to get a paper done and whatever.
Yeah.
Or,
Their biggest deadline was
Food.
the crops.
The
Yeah.
biggest deadline was, I need to eat.
yeah, and they
and I need to
went by
drink.
the seasons at that point.
Right.
So, and depending on where they lived at, you know, further to the equator, they didn't have to worry about seasons and all that.
Yeah.
But
And also the seasons were probably slightly different back then.
could be. But yeah, I mean, it lines up biblically because Noah had not reigned.
Oh
before
yeah,
Noah.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Chunks of it do line up, but it doesn't perfectly, because the Bible does say that does not say the moon showed up before
Yeah.
the flood. Noah didn't say there's a moon now.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
And-
some people that speculate that when it says the firmament,
Mhm.
water separated the firmament or whatever, that there was an ice sheet around the earth. And the ice sheet melted, which also caused the flood during Noah. I don't know how much I believe that. I honestly don't know how much I believe that. But that's a theory.